alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I want to give a brief information about a special Quran with Tawafuk, printed by Hizmet Foundation in Istanbul. As you know, Quran was relieved in 23 years, part by part and with a different order. Ayats were relieving, and Rasulullah was memorizing ayats and teaching his ashab, and that day's ayats were recorded by scribes of Wahi over bones, stones, leaves, leathers, whatever present for that time. So during life of Rasulullah, as Quran was not completed yet, and most of the people could not read and write, they did not need to copy or collect Quran together. But just after Rasulullah time, in the war, during Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq time, in the war of Yamame, nearly 70 Hafiz were shaheed. And they decided to collect Quran, because if one day all Hafiz pass away, Quran could disappear. They formed a committee from Huffaz. The head of the committee was Zayd bin Sabit radiallahu an. They have collected all written pages and formed first Musaf, book type of Quran. For the first time, all Quran was collected between two covers. And during Hazrat Osman bin Affan radiallahu anh time, this first Musaf was copied and distributed to Islamic cities. Today, all the Qurans in the world refer to Hazrat Osman time's Qurans. So Quran has been written for centuries. The written text did not change from the first day, but page setups were differing from calligrapher to calligrapher. Some were using 11 lines per page, some 13, some 15. So nearly 12th century later, from the first Musaf, in the middle of 19th century, one calligrapher from Istanbul thought that how should I write Quran and what should be length of one page. He has chosen the longest ayat of Quran for page length reference. This is from Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat al-Dain, ayat number 282. As you can see, next page we have 7 ayats. But in this page, we have just one ayat, the longest ayat of Quran. So for page setup, we need the length of the page and also width of the page. So what should be width of the page? Or in other words, what should be length of one line? For line reference, he has chosen shortest surahs, Surah Al-Kawthar and Surah Al-Ikhlas. So page length, longest ayat, page width, shortest surah. When he wrote Quran with this style, all pages in Quran was completed by ayat. No ayat is split at the end of the page. If we can say again, relieved in 23 years, part by part with a different order, with various lengths of ayats and with different reasons. As you know, sometimes something was happening and ayats were relieved directly. So written for centuries, nobody noticed this. But when written by this style, longest surah and shortest surah, all pages are completed by ayah and no ayat is split at the end of the page. So most of us in Turkey have been seeing same type of mushafs from our childhood. So I want to show you some old mushafs, because many people think that it was like that from the first day. This is one Quran from early 16th century. As you can see here, ayat starts here and ends next page. Or this ayat starts here, ends next page. Similarly, this ayat starts here, ends next page. Or in this page, ayat starts here and ends in next page. But in this Musaf, all pages are completed by ayat. No ayat is split at the end of the page. Bediüzzaman Said Nursi, a famous scholar from Turkey, have noticed that when Quran is written with this style, if it is carefully written, the names of Allah can be aligned. Let's look at this page. As you can see, we have 4 Lafzullah, name of Allah, on the same line, and 5 of them on the same line. Or in this page, 2 of them or 3 of them. If you open next page, 2 of them, 4 of them, or 3 of them. Or in this page, 3 of them. Next page, 2 lafz Rab here, 3 lafzullah, 1 lafz Rab here. In Quran, total number of lafzullah, lafz Rab, Rahman, Rahim and other names are more than 4,000, and in this Musaf, most of them are aligned, what we say is Tawafuk in Arabic. Tesadüf means an alignment with coincidence, but Tawafuk means an alignment with will of Allah. And in some pages, we have symmetric Tawafuk, like mirrored. Let's look at this page. As you can see, these 2 lafzullah is symmetric with these 2. If I can bring them together, you can see they are overlapping. These 2 by these 2, and these 2 by these 2. This line types Tawafuk nearly present in every page, and in some pages we have symmetric Tawafuk. And the third type of Tawafuk in between pages. Let me put my finger at the end of third line. I will open 6 pages. Let's check out end of third lines. 1 lafzullah here, second one here. Next 2 pages doesn't have lafzullah at that point. Third one and fourth one. So among 6 pages, 4 of them overlapping. So Bediüzzaman says that this Quran shows miracle of Quran to anybody who can just see, because you don't need to be a Muslim and you don't need to read Quran, know how to read Quran to see this miracle. In our place, people from America or Thailand, Ecuador or Korea, Spain or France, no matter, if they have a few minutes, we have something to show them about Quran. Today, most of the people say that we don't believe what we don't see. So this is something to see by anybody. I want to show you one more page. This page has 16 lafzullah, the most number in one page in Quran, 12 of them on the same line. Let me read the last ayat with lafzullah inside. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya eyyühellezine amenu zkurullaha zikran kesira. A simple translation. O you the believers, remember, mention name of Allah many times. And as you can see, Allah's name mentioned many times in this page. And another page. This page has ayat Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Şehru Ramazan ellezi unzile fihil Quran. Ramazan is that month Quran was relieved in, and page number is 27. Perhaps Laylatul Qadr. Wallahu ya'lam. And one last example from Ahsenul Qasas, best story of Quran. As you know, when Hazreti Yusuf alayhi has gone, Hazreti Yaqub alayhi was very sad. He cried too much and his eyes become white. Then Hazreti Yusuf alayhi sent his shirt to Hazreti Yaqub alayhi. When he swapped shirt to eyes, his eyes were opened. So in this page we have the ayat Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Vebyaddat aynahu minal huzn. Vebyaddat, his eyes become white. Ayn, eyes. Minal huzn, because of sadness. And the next page, bigamisi, that means my shirt. And when shirt swaps eyes, they are exactly symmetric, eyes are opened. So this was first Mus'haf written and published in Republic time. Because unfortunately till 1950 publication of Quran was forbidden in Turkey. From 1950 till establishment of our foundation, Ottoman times Qurans were published by offset photographing publication. Before us they were using straw paper, very low quality, monocolor printing. For the first time, high quality paper, multicolor high quality printing was done by our foundation. When Bediüzzaman noticed Tawafuk, he taught this to his students because he describes himself as half ummi. You know, ummi means who cannot read and write. That means he can read, but his handwriting is such bad he can't write. So first Mus'hafs with Tawafuk was written by his students, like 3 juz each. But he wanted this Mus'haf to be written by a famous calligrapher. After his death, his students went to Hamid al-Amidi, and this is the handwriting of Hamid al-Amidi. Hamid al-Amidi is one of the most famous calligraphers of last century. It was said Quran relieved in Hijaz, recited in Egypt, and written in Istanbul. Best calligraphers in the history was in Istanbul, but unfortunately in 1928, the Quranic letters, Arabic letters, were changed into Latin letters. And just nearby our place, there was a road in Cağaloğlu in Istanbul. 350 calligraphers lost their job in one night. Then, after 1950, when Quran was free again, Hamidul Amidi raised many calligraphers. Today, more than 90% of calligraphers are coming from his generation. Even the calligrapher of Musaf of Medina, which is distributed by Saudi Arabia every year, millions of copies, a green Musaf, his calligrapher was Osman Taha, the most famous calligrapher of last times. He learned calligraphy from Hamidul Amidi. So our foundation published this Musaf and tafsir of this Quran, books of Bediüzzaman Said Nursi. Thank you for listening us.